This is Respectfully Outrageous with Nathan and Ben.
Today we'll be talking about the pre-draft off-season recap.
Hope you enjoy. In this segment, we will be talking about kind of our free agency off-season recap to this point, pre-draft. We'll do another one later after the draft as well. But we're just kind of here to talk about thoughts we have on certain moves, pickups.
What's going down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are your thoughts originally in this free agency market?
I mean, there's obviously the big ones with the Browns and the Raiders, but kind of my initial takeaway is the number of big names that still have yet to been signed, like Eric Berry.
Yeah, I would agree. Ndamukong Suh.
Right. You would think that teams like the Chiefs on defense would potentially try to re-sign Berry or go get Suh because if they had a semblance of a defense, they might have won that game. There's obviously the overtime rules, things that we're not going to get into.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of talent that has been yet signed, and I think it's been kind of a quiet free agency except for some big moves, like the moves the Raiders made. But yeah, it's been a kind of a general free agency, a lot of things that jump at you, and then some things that surprise you that haven't happened. So,
something that caught my eye was that Le'Veon Bell got less money than he would have gotten with the Steelers originally. The Steelers had offered him a bigger contract than what he got with the Jets.
Right.
And I find that interesting, but at the same time, I don't. I mean, he took a year off of football.
Right.
That's what you get.
He gambled on himself.
Exactly. And, yeah, he got a nice contract, but it wasn't bigger than what the Steelers were going to give him.
Also, I think he has a unique advantage. He gets a year to see what he did poorly the year before and a year kind of to adjust and see things and watch tape and get healthy. So he's going to have the freshest legs coming in.
If he's fresh.
If he's in shape.
Yep.
So he took a year off. So he's basically not like a year younger, but like he has an extra year of his career because running backs have a hard deadline kind of.
Yep.
Not saying like Adrian Peterson has had a revival in Washington, and then Frank Gore seems to be ageless. He just doesn't age.
Frank the Tank.
He just doesn't age.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen running backs just fall
all of a sudden,
fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that he took some time off, and also I think it has to do with kind of the drama in Pittsburgh with Antonio Brown, Mike Tomlin, and all that.
Big Ben, and
I think he wanted out of it, and I think he saw the Jets as kind of talented and kind of more professional, and wanted to be a part of that. So I think maybe he just needed a change of scenery and
new culture. Yeah, I could see that.
New culture. Maybe he just got worn out in Pittsburgh. I could see that. There's a lot of drama. You can get worn out in Pittsburgh. So I think that's part of it. But it's a good move because I have the Jets winning some games. We're not going to get into records because it's way too early. It's April. The draft hasn't even happened yet. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's not the training cap injuries, scares yet or anything like that. So
yep.
I also kind of like what the Raiders did, but I think they overpaid.
Yeah.
And they set a bad precedent. Trent Brown's a good player, and there's skeletons in the closet when you go sign an expatriate. Because Belichick is smart enough not to let someone go that he can't get back. So I'm not saying he's going to help the Raiders out, but they can't get much worse. I think Antonio Brown's a good player. I just don't agree with giving him the most money.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
After what he's been...
Yep. After what he's done and how he's really self-imploded in Pittsburgh.
Right.
He really just kicked his way out of Pittsburgh.
We're going to talk about what he did with Juju or not?
I mean, what is there to talk about? That was a dick move.
It was awful. That
was not a good thing.
It was probably the maturity level of that would make a middle schooler's embarrassed. And if anything, it makes Juju look like even better than he does right now. But the problem I have with it is what John Gruden has shown. Well, I can't negotiate with Khalil Mack, so I'll trade him. I don't want to negotiate and put up with Amari Cooper, so I'll trade him. But Antonio Brown, the guy that's had all these... Have there been massive storylines about Khalil Mack's issues or Amari Cooper?
No.
They're both in the playoffs.
There's a lot about... yeah, exactly.
They were both in the playoffs.
Yep.
And they both played pretty well. But Antonio Brown wasn't there in Week 7. Didn't he leave that game? Didn't he leave it? Antonio Brown left at halftime or something like that?
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, he left at halftime. He didn't play. He left at halftime, and there've been all these issues, and you want to pay him to make him one of the highest paid wide receivers? That's just...
No.
Usually
he's good, but...
You make the best player on the team the most paid, not the craziest.
I mean, my thing is you had all this money to pay Antonio. Why didn't you pay Khalil Mack or Amari Cooper? As a Cowboys fan, I'm totally fine having Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 24.
Mm-hmm.
He's better than really any receiver in the draft right now.
Yeah.
And, like, he's already proved himself. He's been to the Pro Bowl twice.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I don't know why you wouldn't negotiate with this guy. Or Khalil Mack. Did you see what he did on the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden's sitting there like, oh, well, you know.
The only thing
like,
he didn't do for the Bears is play quarterback and kick field goals.
That's true. Well, he should have kicked field goals.
He couldn't have been worse. Doink.
Double doink.
I think it's maybe a power struggle issue.
Yeah.
In Oakland, but you could just ask Raiders fans, would they rather have Antonio Brown, Amari Cooper, or Khalil Mack? I think it'd be like 50-50 Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack. Who's taking Antonio Brown right now? He's a good player. He can play, but
Well, right now they'll take him because they don't have either Amari or Khalil.
Right.
Like, they need him now.
but before, if they had the option of
Right.
A, B, or C, it's either A or B.
Right.
Not A, B. A or B, not A, B. But I don't know. I think the Lions made some good players. Made some
Good moves.
good moves acquiring players. Trey Flowers, I think, is going to help out. But then, yet again, he's also an expatriate leaving, and
Yeah.
they also paid a lot for him. I think he's just going to play. I just don't think he's going to get the production that you paid for. Kansas City seems to be getting rid of everything on defense.
Yep.
It seems to be going completely
Because
Texas Tech.
they traded D Ford, right?
Yeah.
Then they released Eric Berry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think... And they released Justin Houston.
Well, Justin Houston's productive. He's
a veteran presence, and they got rid of him. I'm just saying they got rid of him.
So who exactly is rushing the passer for Kansas City?
That's a good question.
I can't name a pass rusher. Elvin Bailey, I think.
No, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like the Chiefs' strength was their defense,
Right, yeah.
or anything. So, I guess they're just gonna have to draft defense, which is kind of hard to do.
But the main thing that I've seen recently is, are the Seattle Seahawks trying to destroy their future and just destroy themselves, or what?
Do you remember the time when Seattle was praised for having the best GM and sport?
Oh, you remember when they had the Legion of Boom?
Not even the Legion of Boom. Remember when Seattle was like, this is the prototype of how you build a team?
Right, yeah.
Young quarterback on a rookie contract, a lot of defense, with some veteran players.
With Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
And you paid him a lot of money, and you kept your quarterback on a rookie deal.
Exactly.
And they won games. They won the Super Bowl, and we're like, okay, this is going to be a dynasty.
Yep.
They lose that game. Like, okay, it's a bad call, Pete Carroll, but yeah.
Whatever, you move on.
You move on. They never moved on.
Nope.
That call, I'm going to be over dramatic. That call didn't just ruin it. Ruined Seattle. It ruined everything, because they destroyed the defense. The defense lost faith in the offense.
They lost faith in Pete Carroll.
Cam Chancellor would get hurt. Richard Sherman would go sign in San Francisco.
Yep.
Oral Thomas would go to Baltimore. And now you're left with Bobby Wagner, which we don't even know if you're going to pay, because you just gave Russell Wilson the highest paid contract.
$140 million.
Do you know how he got the contract too? He's like, okay, give me this contract
I'm gone, yeah.
by midnight, or I'm not going to be a Seahawk. Yeah. And then he's like laying in bed with his wife, going like, I always wanted to be a Seahawk. Which one is it? Which one is it?
I don't know.
It's a bad precedent. People, it's not going to go.
No, I know.
Way too much drama in Seattle.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to win games because it's Russell Wilson. But...
And something that I noticed too, outside of the Seattle, sticking in the NFC here, the Vikings re-signing Anthony Barr. They got rid of essentially all their cap space when re-signing Anthony Barr. Yeah. They have zero cap space now.
Well, they also have another massive cap killer on their team playing quarterback. It's just eating up a ton of money.
$24 million a year.
I'm not saying that you should get rid of them, but that's just a lot of money for not a lot of production.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, or you start to reconsider things, see things differently, that's a bad cap hit. Mm-hmm. And you really can't, unless you guys want to go draft a quarterback or trade for one.
Right.
Which you guys could do, because you tend to do that.
Well, they need O-linemen, but they
can't afford to go get them.
Exactly, because they just use all their cap on a massive deal for Barr.
And this draft is not loaded with offensive linemen.
No, and I told you this, defense, why not draft a rookie on defense, and
You could probably get Anthony Barr's production on defense through a couple players.
right. But at the same time, you need to draft all linemen now.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want a chance,
or you could have traded him and moved up in the draft.
right?
Or maybe they are going to, but that's just going to kill your cap if you do.
Well, he was going to sign with New York, but then the Vikings gave him a monster deal. So
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he never wanted to go sign with New York and he was just using it as leverage to get that deal. Who knows? But there's a lot of drama with Seattle and Pittsburgh and how they're basically the same team, and just
yeah, it's really
coaches just have there's just no control, and it's leading to bad products on the field.
mm-hmm.
And the teams that stay out of the news tend to do really well.
right.
There's no drama in LA with the Chargers. There's no drama with the Rams, except if Todd Gurley's healthy or not, which they found out he's been lying, which we've all suspected.
Yeah.
There's no drama really in New Orleans, other than that was a bad call and they were all really salty about it,
Right.
they have a very good right to be.
Yep.
There's no drama in Philly except with Nick Foles, and
Carson Wentz.
I mean, you know how they handled it? It was like the best way to handle it.
I would argue not, but
Like they decided, like, okay, Nick, we'll figure out what Nick has, what Carson Wentz has, and then we'll let Nick Foles go somewhere else because he won a Super Bowl play. Can you imagine the drama if that was in like Pittsburgh
that's true. I understand what you're
or
saying.
like New York?
I still think they made the wrong move. I still think they should have traded Wentz.
What?
Yes.
Why?
What has he done?
What do you mean? What has he done?
He's not won a playoff game.
He hasn't been healthy to win a playoff.
Exactly.
He's
He's
set
not
him
been
up to
healthy.
13-3.
Huh?
He set him up to go 13-3.
With that team and that defense, anyone could do that.
Really?
Dak did it.
Oh, Dak ran Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, but the same thing was with the defense.
No, Dak ran
Zeke
Elliott.
I understand
Carson Wentz
that.
made those. It was like 33 touchdowns for Carson Wentz.
Well, what are you supposed to do when nobody tries and plays you? I mean, Nelson Aguilar's a burner. I'll give you that. Alshon Jeffrey's good, but Nick Foles is the clearly better choice.
He had 3 good games.
Yeah, but here's the deal: you can get
3 good games.
Carson Wentz is a locker room killer.
How?
Have you not heard of all these people? Like Carson Wentz is just a bummer. It sounds like.
Carson Wentz is just chill. He's just chilling.
No, I think they should have kept Foles, traded Wentz, and then drafted a younger quarterback
You do
later.
know Nick Foles was also the guy that got benched in St. Louis for Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same guy.
I do understand that, but that was earlier.
Yeah. He also was the same guy that went...
Nick Foles beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the Super Bowl. So did Eli. So did Eli.
Okay, well, Eli's an anomaly in the Super Bowl. I don't understand how Eli beats Tom Brady.
Neither do I. I'm still trying to figure that out. So we're going on by the weird games. So by that, so you're saying if someone beats a great player, so you're saying because...
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I'm saying he did beat Tom Brady, but he didn't beat just Tom Brady. He won the playoffs to get them to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz has not won a playoff game.
Atlanta at home. Those are 3 home games. They had the home field advantage.
Atlanta's defense is not slacking. Their defense is good.
No, you didn't realize they had home field advantage in Philly, which is nuts. They also had one of the best defenses.
Yep.
Loaded receiving core, great running game with Jay Ajayi.
Yep.
And Corey Clement.
Yep.
And then they managed to... I don't even know how they beat the Vikings in that game.
They destroyed the Vikings.
I was so wrong in that prediction. I was so wrong.
They destroyed the Vikings.
And then Nick Foles balled out against Tom Brady,
Yep.
which is one of the worst historical Patriot defenses. We're also forgetting that Doug Peterson is the best offensive mind in football.
Is he the best offensive? Sean McVay.
Really? How many points did Sean McVay put up in the Super Bowl? How many points?
Well, that was a
points?
debacle. Some people think Jeff Fisher was there instead, but
I mean, I'm just telling you, what happened? They ran for over like 160 yards. The Eagles did. Mm-hmm. Todd Gurley didn't get to 60 yards.
Well, because it's Todd Gurley.
C.J. Anderson didn't either.
Well, because C.J. Anderson is a bowling ball.
LeGarrette Blount was too, but he managed to.
Well, they also had Ajayi, though, and Clement.
Right.
Like, the Eagles went with more of a committee.
Yeah.
The Rams did a split back.
The Eagles had a better offense overall. They had better receivers, and well, to be fair, Cooper Kupp wasn't there, and
Right.
but still, yeah, Doug Peterson. What is Doug Peterson's record against Sean McVay? Is that 2-0? I think he is.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Doug Peterson's a bad
In
coach.
L.A.
But
in L.A.
But if you're calling it, well, in LA. That's not really home field advantage for the Rams. I mean,
what? You want to talk about Lackfield? They complain about it. Me to the Chargers.
The Cowboys game, the playoff game in LA, was a Cowboys home game.
It was a neutral site game.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
and they still slacked you guys.
No, well, yeah,
they
yes
ran,
and no.
They ran all over you, and Dak played pretty well.
Yeah,
but I mean, okay.
I don't know what happened to our defensive line.
Let's put it like this: Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Case Keenum, Alex Smith, and Eli Manning. Who's the best quarterback in that division? We're putting Nick Foles back for the conversation. Who's the best quarterback in that division?
Like, what do you want for best quarterback?
Like, if you have, like, all of them are healthy, you can take any of them in your prime. Who you taking?
All of them are healthy?
Yeah.
Are they not going to get injured?
I can't. I'm not the injury gods here.
Well, if there was no injury risk, I'd take Carson Wentz.
Thank you. Carson Wentz is a better quarterback.
But Dak Prescott's better than Carson Wentz.
At what?
Running, just being there. Dak has never been injured.
He also has Zeke Elliott and that great wall of Dallas. But
you were just saying that Philly has a great roster.
They do have a great roster.
Exactly. So you can't. And the great wall of Dallas wasn't there last year.
It was not there, but Dak is a lot thicker than Carson. I mean, Carson Wentz has had 2 freak injuries.
Right, 2 freak injuries.
So, like, because people have had 2 freak injuries, like...
Well, but that means he's just susceptible. Carson Wentz, to be fair, much better arm. Much better arm.
That's not even close. Best arm in the NFC East.
Well, obviously. Who else? Eli Manning?
Yeah, I don't... Ew. I'm not scared of Eli. No, I don't think anyone should be.
No one, except for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, I guess.
Don't know how that happened. I get Dak's your quarterback. I get it. I get he's very thick in the legs, but no, I'd take Carson Wentz. I'll take the issue. I'll take the risk. I'm gonna take Carson Wentz.
All right,
that's what I'm gonna
your
roll
call.
with.
Yeah, that's your call.
I'll tell you what, Carson Wentz would have won that Super Bowl against Tom Brady.
No, he wouldn't have.
Where's that coming from?
Well, how do you know? How do you know he would have won? He's never been in the playoffs before.
He's a better quarterback.
No,
he won the job back.
Not than Nick Foles.
Okay, what is it? His quick release, playing above the rim.
What, Nick Foles?
Yeah.
He's just more poised.
What?
He's more relaxed. He's comfortable. Now, to be fair, he won't be as good in Jacksonville because he's a system quarterback.
It's Doug Peterson.
Well, I'm telling you, he and Doug Peterson together were like 2 peas in a pod. Right. I mean, they had it down to a science.
Right. Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson are better than Nick Foles and Doug Peterson.
How many times has Carson Wentz beat Dak? I think once out of 4.
Once.
So Dak's 3-1.
Dak is 3-1 against. Yeah. Those have been Carson. Good. Those are good Cowboy teams.
Yeah. So they're good Eagle teams.
Those are good. Yeah. Dak's a good. I'm not saying Dak's terrible. I'm just saying Carson Wentz is good. I'm just saying I'd rather have Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz has a better arm.
Carson Wentz is better at reading the field than making reads. Dak feeds it to Amari Cooper.
And that's a problem.
Carson Wentz has to distribute. To be fair, he does kind of. Nick Foles kind of became addicted to Zach Ertz, but who wouldn't because he's always open.
Well, Carson Wentz is more addicted to Zach Ertz.
I mean,
Zach Ertz gets like 15 receptions a game. That's unreal.
Remember what happened when Jason Witten went away for Dak? Oof.
No, Jason Witten never had about 5 receptions in a game.
Right, but they were all on 3rd down.
Exactly, and now we got him back, which I don't quite understand. But
are we comparing Dak Prescott without Amari Cooper to Carson Wentz, or Dak Prescott with Amari Cooper?
Well, then give Carson Wentz the Cowboys receiving corps at the beginning of the last year.
He kind of. I mean, there was a point when the Eagles led the league in drops with Carson.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
Yeah, I know.
And they were pretty good.
They had great receivers.
Yeah, but who's great besides Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Ertz on their team?
Nelson Aguilar?
He's pretty good.
He's a burner. You kidding? He's fast.
He's fast, but speed's not everything. Just ask the Bengals' John Ross.
Whew.
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying, but Aguilar's a proven speed on the field. Kind of like a Tyreek Hill.
So is Jakeem Grant, but where's the production?
Nelson Aguilar had the production.
Nelson Aguilar did have the production. He balled out in the Super Bowl, but speed's not everything. He's a good player.
I know. Is he better than Allen Hurns? Yes.
Wow, that's
what I'm telling you.
That's a huge statement.
Allen Hurns was supposed to be our number 1 receiver coming into last year.
That's general management mistake right there.
Thank you. I already knew that.
Well, Cole Beasley. Well, you guys are in love with Cole Beasley.
No, he's gone.
Well, he was, and then now he's in Buffalo. So
Yeah, now he's ripping up Cowboys. It's like, well, you can do what you want. It's your problem.
I think Philadelphia made the right choice. I think if Nick Foles lost that Super Bowl, it wouldn't have been a discussion.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Agreed. It wouldn't have been a discussion if he lost the Super Bowl. But he won the Super Bowl.
But he did win that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He made some nice throws.
He made some very nice throws.
But Carson Wentz has made nicer throws.
Not in the Super Bowl.
He hasn't
Not in
had
the
the
playoffs.
chance.
Exactly, because he's injured. You have to keep that in mind, too.
Right, injuries aren't everything, but I'll take the risk with Carson Wentz.
All right, that's fair. All right.
It's not like the Cowboys where they're not going to win a playoff game for the next 3 years. They'll go back.
We just won a playoff game.
For the first time since 2014.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a long.
That was only 4 years.
That's 4 years, but like usually it's kind of like there was like a massive big gap thing. There was a huge gap before you guys had won a playoff game, like a divisional playoff game. It was a big gap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Carson Wentz Carson Wentz handled it very well. There's not a lot of starting quarterbacks that can handle getting benched. I don't think he got benched, but like sat on the bench because he was injured, and let someone else win the Super Bowl and handle it the way Carson did.
I guess.
And remember, Carson was helping out Nick Foles when he was on when Nick Foles was making those reads. So, I mean, I don't know. They're both good quarterbacks. I think the Jaguars would rather have Carson Wentz.
Well, yeah, Nick Foles was definitely Nick Foles was the key. Like I said before, he was a system quarterback. Worked really well with Doug Peterson.
Right.
I don't think he'll do as well in Jacksonville.
Do you think that's the reason they won the Super Bowl is more the fact that Carson Wentz set him up so they could have those wins, or if you flip the role to where it was Nick Foles that started the season and Carson Wentz came off the bench, do you think the result would have been the same?
I don't think so.
So, who knows? I mean, we're not going to go back and change this. It's not the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
So, I think the Eagles made a good decision.
That's fair.
I don't understand what's going on in Washington. I don't think anyone in Washington does.
No.
We're not talking about the government. We're talking about the Skins.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the recap. I mean,
Alex. Okay.
Well, Alex Smith is out for next year.
Right. What should they do at quarterback?
Yep.
What should the Redskins do at quarterback?
Oh, well, didn't they trade for Keenum?
Yeah.
Well, where are they picking in the draft?
Do you want to roll with Keenum?
Not without Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur's there.
Not without Adam Thielen. I don't want to roll with it. No.
Redskins.
Any other teams you want to talk about? We already have a segment on the Cardinals, so we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good.
I think it kind of covers
generally
what has happened in the draft. What has happened? Draft doesn't happen. Draft happens Friday.
Well, pre-draft, yeah. We'll do a post-draft thing too. Yeah. All right, so that was our off-season recap for pre-draft.
Pre-draft, and then we'll do one after the draft, and then kind of recap with how we think the first round went, and then the second round, and then maybe get into.
We'll do some season predictions at some point too.
Still
record prediction.
Early though.
Well, no, I'm not saying like right after, but
right.
Some point before the season we'll get our record predictions out. It's like I'll start looking at the schedules and going through and doing W's and L's and stuff. So.
Before what do you have your Cowboys going right now?
Right now, I like them at 9-7 or 10-6.
Okay.
Because they have to play the first place schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think 10-6 is achievable. 9-7 makes sense. They make the playoffs. I'd have to look exactly at what Philly's
thing is. Are they going to win the division? I
don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have to look at Philly's schedule.
Right.
But I think they squeak in the playoffs with a 9-7, 10-6 record.
Yeah, I still have the Saints winning the division, and then
yeah. Well, we can get into this more.
Carolina going like 7-9 or something like 500.
Well, this is also pre-draft, so we have no idea what's going to happen in the draft.
Right, they could do it really well or do really poorly. So.
Yep. All right. So that was our off-season recap. We will see you later after hopefully not as long as hiatus. We figured out how to do remote stuff, so
we should.
We should be able to at least get
some episodes.
Out quicker than this one was. Yeah.
Yeah. The breaks won't be as long.
Yeah. I'm also done with school in 3 weeks. So.
I'm half done with school in 3 weeks. Half of my classes are done.
All right.
So.
All right. Well, thanks for watching and have a good day.